Yo, yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. We're talking about the Falcon Air EQ by Safari Pedals. It's their new plugin. I've been having a lot of fun with it, not gonna lie. We have this song by an artist named Leo Rising. It's a song that I mixed for him about 2 months ago now, and I also mastered it for him. And I was like, you know what? Let me crack open the mastered session. Let's try to add some air to the song because I remember specifically that we were going for more of a modern pop sound, something a little bit airy, something a little bit more, brighter to a certain extent. So as you can see, we have an input output. We have the air gain, which obviously is going to be the whole thing of this plugin essentially. And then we have this air drive, which we can saturate the top end, distort it, which comes in really handy. I'll show you obviously what it does and what it's capable of doing. And then we have our frequency selector, and we have a de-esser, which is really nice. It makes total sense. It's like if you're gonna be adding air or a lot of top end to something, why not have something to be able to control that or dampen it. Obviously this is going to be a little bit more beneficial for vocals or whatever, but you can also use a de-esser on your master bus, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to go ahead and bypass the plugin. Let's get a little reference of where we're at with the track. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry again. Feel the beat in my chest to remind me I'm human. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry. So you can hear definitely a lot of top end on the vocal, very bright airy track already, a lot of low end. The mid-range, there's a lot going on, but it's super controlled. But there's just that extra 5 to 10% that we want to add to the track, and this is like overall shaping the song. Let's go ahead and try to add some air to it. We'll see what we can do, but like I said, let me unbypass it and then we'll hear the difference, and then we'll talk about what I did and what my go-to settings were for this track. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry again. Feel the beat in my chest to remind me I'm human. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry. So you can hear, I mean, it's definitely adding some top end. It's making the track a little bit more exciting. People forget that EQs are also amplifiers. Not only are we adding air to the track, but we're also getting a little bit of gain that allows us to maybe not use our limiter as much, not use our clipper as much, whatever the case is. Whatever you're using to get gain, most of the time, I personally like to use EQ when I can to try to get a little bit more level, a little bit more perceived level. And this is definitely doing a good job with that. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing. Super straightforward. That's what I like about the Safari pedals. I've always said it about their plugins. They're super straightforward. They don't give you too much control. They give you just the right amount of controls, and they do a very good job with what they give you. Not messing with any of the input or output. So I think we're only adding like 3 dB. Yeah, 3 dB of, I think it was 20K at the top end. I just like the idea of that. I mean, obviously we have a visual right here, but hopefully we're also boosting anything maybe slightly below 20K and up. I just like the idea of like a huge hill. I like to think of it as like a hill. It's just like, okay, we're also kind of touching 19 to 18, but obviously we're gonna add some gain past what we selected, which is 20K. And then also with the air drive, I think we're adding 5%, 10%. There you go. So let's me play without it. It's a subtle difference, but it's subtle enough where it makes a huge difference, if that makes sense. This is one of those plugins where a little goes a long way. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry again. Feel the beat in my chest to remind me. So you can hear, like, you wouldn't think there would be a difference. It's almost like this extra layer of like shaping the top end. It's like, okay, cool, we're adding top end, but we're using the air drive to also make it sound, I don't even know. I always like to say more expensive. When I think of top end, I just think expensive all the time. I think of like, I don't know, like a C800 or an Avalon mastering EQ or something. I just always think or associate like top end with making something sound expensive. That's it. That's what I think of when I'm adding top end to stuff. And I think with the air drive along, pairing it with the actual gain of the EQ, the air gain in this case, it just like makes the air gain sound more expensive because we're just driving that top end a little bit more. And like I said earlier, we're also getting gain out of it, which can be very beneficial. Like I said, it allows you to not use as much of your limiter or your clipper, whatever the case is. And then let's go ahead and break down this de-esser. This is also something where it's doing a lot, but it's not doing a lot at the same time. But what it is doing is a huge difference. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry again. Feel the beat in my chest to remind me I'm human. So this is definitely a more subtle thing of what it's doing. I'm personally listening on headphones right now. My headphones I know are already super bright, so I'm definitely going to hear the difference a little bit more. Depends on what you're listening to right now, but it does come in handy. If you know, obviously when I exaggerate a lot, you can hear some of that snare come down, the hi-hats come down a little bit. It's like, you know, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's trying to de-ess, or essentially we're de-essing the top end. But if you're using it on your master bus, you can almost think of it as a way of just dampening. I like to think of de-essers as dampening. Obviously, that's essentially what it's doing, but in a different way. But you can wrap your head around that and be like, okay, I want to dampen my master bus a little bit. Then this can go a long way, and it can be super helpful if you're trying to control your top end a little bit. And pairing it with something like this, where it's something that's supposed to be adding air to your track or your signal, being able to dampen it as well in the same plugin is super helpful and super handy. So again, let's play the track. I'm going to bypass it, unbypass it, and we can hear there's a huge difference. It sounded good without it before, but it sounds even better with it. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry again. Feel the beat in my chest to remind me I'm human. I'm gonna dance till I learn how to cry. So there you go. Let me know what you think. Are you using it? What are you using it on? And if you're interested in picking up this plugin, please use my link below. It would be super helpful, would help my channel out a lot. Otherwise, I appreciate you. Thank you, Safari Pedals. Shout out to Safari Pedals. And yeah, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.